Mrs. Johansson leaves the house for the boat. With her go the Rosens. On the way out, Mr. Rosen trips, but rights himself before falling. Mrs. Johansson says it is very dark here and on the path they are going to take. The Rosens hug Anne-Marie goodbye. Ellen and Anne-Marie hug for a long time. Ellen promises that she will be back. Anne-Marie sits alone in the living room, crying. In her mind she walks the path with them. It is 2:30 in the morning. By Anne-Marie's calculations, her mother should be back 1 hour later. She thinks of her father. He is alone in Copenhagen. Surely he is awake, too, waiting to hear that they are all safe. Anne-Marie decides that it is harder to be the ones waiting, even if it is not as dangerous. She drifts off to sleep. The light of early morning wakes Anne-Marie. She remembers slowly where she is. It is already 4 in the morning. Mrs. Johansson should be back already. Anne-Marie goes to look for her mother, thinking that she must have come in and not wanted to wake Anne-Marie. But Mrs. Johansson is not in the bedroom. She goes to the window hoping to see her mother. Instead, Anne-Marie notices a moving shape on the ground. It is Mrs. Johansson. Anne-Marie runs out the door calling to her mother. Mrs. Johansson tries to quiet her, assuring Anne-Marie that she is all right. Mrs. Johansson sits up, but winces. Anne-Marie asks what happened. Her mother says the important thing is that the Rosens are with Henrik. Mrs. Johansson hurried to get home and fell when she was about halfway through the trip. She thinks her ankle is broken. Anne-Marie helps her up, despite the evident pain it causes Mrs. Johansson. Her mother praises Anne-Marie for being so strong and brave. They get to the steps of the house and rest. Soon the boat will sail. Anne-Marie notices something in the grass, the packet Peter gave Mr. Rosen. Mrs. Johansson is stunned. The packet must have slipped from Mr. Rosen's pocket when he tripped on his way out. Anne-Marie asks what the packet is. Mrs. Johansson does not answer her daughter's question. She groans and says that their efforts may have been for nothing. Anne-Marie says she will take it. She hides it in a basket under some food. Her mother tells her to run. If any soldiers stop her, Anne-Marie must pretend to be a silly, empty-headed little girl. Anne-Marie asks again what is in the packet, but her mother tells her to go. In Chapter 10, Anne-Marie must say goodbye to her closest childhood friend. Ellen's departure is another big change in Anne-Marie's life. After Ellen leaves, Anne-Marie cries for the first time. Despite the sad fact of her separation from Ellen, Anne-Marie is most concerned about her mother. A role reversal has occurred. Anne-Marie is at home alone, waiting and worrying about Mrs. Johansson, playing the role that mothers usually play when their children are away. But now Anne-Marie is the one alone hoping her mother is okay. She thinks of her father, who must also be up worrying. Anne-Marie identifies with Mr. Johansson. Normally her mother would be the one to feel the same way as Mr. Johansson, which is also part of the reversal. Anne-Marie continues to be motherly when she discovers Mrs. Johansson sprawled outside. She helps her mother and takes care of her as best she can. The discovery of Peter's packet gives Anne-Marie an important mission. Now it is her turn to be brave. She will have to do what an adult would do under different circumstances. The trip is dangerous, and soldiers could mean trouble. Paradoxically, Mrs. Johansson tells Anne-Marie to act like a dim little girl if she runs into any soldiers. Anne-Marie is a young person doing an adult's job, but she must be prepared to play the role of an innocent child. This jumble of acting like an adult and a child is metaphorical for the struggle Anne-Marie has been facing. She is constantly being caught between the childhood and the adult worlds. Anne-Marie has already discovered that the line between lying to people and protecting them is not always clear. Now she sees the same lack of distinction complicating the difference between being a child and being an adult.